And we're live.
Yeah, I would hate to go to prison. It looks like, and I like all the people who go into that show, maybe 3 days in, they're like, you know, the worst part about prison, it's almost always in the woman's cell, if I recall. They're like, you know, the worst part about prison is that I can't leave and I don't get to pick when I do anything. And it's like, yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing about prison.
You just defined prison, you asshole.
Yeah. I
never have
pick what I want to do.
I almost never find the women's side to be entertaining at all because, like, for one thing, they're rarely even close to as violent as the men's side. So, like, the stakes are just inherently lower. But also, like, it seems like most of their drama is like bullshit. Like it's all bullshit. Don't get me wrong, but like theirs is like just, oh, she looked at me funny. She thinks she's better than me, and it's like, really, like they're over there stabbing each other over potato chips in the men's pod, and these girls can't fucking get along and like paint their nails at the same time, or like the contestants are getting all snooty because somebody's smoking some cologne upstairs and they don't like it, or they can't sleep well enough. It's like, I need my sleep at night. It's like, what fucking for? Sleep tomorrow. Like why would you got a big day? You got to get up early and head over to the card table? Get the fuck out of here. Go to sleep and don't rub anybody the wrong way. You got 60 days.
What'd you say they were smoking?
Yeah.
It sounded like cologne.
Clone. They're smoking fake fucking weed.
Oh, okay.
Like spice?
They were smoking real weed in Fulton.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were smoking real weed where I was too. They smoked both.
And nobody cared, I guess, right? Because you can smell it far away.
So actually, man, they had a system down in Fulton. They'd sit over a toilet and they'd pump all the water out, so that way it was like a natural vacuum. And then they just sit over that toilet, and then they'd smoke that, the weed, and then they'd throw it down the toilet. And then they had these socks with like soap bars and baby powder in them, and then they'd sit there and just pop them. And then it was just like a air freshener. It would just release, and it would smell like powder, and you wouldn't even tell anybody was smoking.
I love the ingenuity of these things, where it's like, what do we have? A little baby powder, soap, and a sock. But what do we want to really do? Smoke weed. We can figure this out.
That one is impressive. Sometimes I think people get too excited about their ingenuity. Like, man, get this. They took rebar and they sharpened it on a stone. These guys are so fucking clever. And it's like, well, I don't know. That's some caveman shit right there. Like, I'm not too impressed.
Yeah,
Monkey can do that.
The coolest thing I saw as far as like ingenuity, MacGyver shit, is the lighters that they would make in prison, where they had like a couple of batteries attached together, and then like some really thin wire that they would touch together, and the wires would get red hot, and then they touch it at the end of the cigarette, and they could get it hot enough to like spark up a cigarette. And everybody had one, and they were made out of like broken radios and shit, because they've got, where you put the batteries into like any device, like, or even a remote control. There's that whole setup, right, where the batteries go into to slots. They'd have that, and then tape wrapped around that, and the battery stuck in it, and then wires coming out, touching together. That shit looked cool to me. I wanted one of those. I wasn't smoking, but I thought that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And everybody had one.
I really didn't like the contraband in the female ward or pod or whatever in the season I was watching most recently, where they're like, oh, we're going to do some drugs. Crack sticks. And what it is tampon paper rolled around the inside of an e-cig, and then we're going to smoke that. And I'm like, wait. So there were no drugs added? It's just you're making yourself sick with the amount of nicotine by getting rid of the governor that gives it a little bit at a time. It sounds like smoking like 5 cigarettes at once and just feeling ill.
More than that, they're burning it rather than vaping it. So like, instead of vaporizing like nicotine gel or whatever and inhaling like a nice vapor that like slowly gives you like 5 milligrams a hit or whatever the fuck it does, they're smoking that thing. They're burning the part that is soaked in nicotine, wrapped in a tampon roller or whatever the hell. It's got to be getting them pretty fucking tipsy, pretty high. The women's pod that was really jumping off was the one where they had all the pills, and everybody was like cheeking their pills and crushing them up and mixing them with that Kool-Aid. That looked fun.
the whippets, except like they talk about the drugs they were using and they never seemed like fun. It's like, oh, we got a bunch of Zoloft, a little Prozac, and oh, what do we got here? Oh, well, Butrin. We're gonna mush all this up together. And it's like these are all just antidepressants.
I got some Prilosec.
Yeah. OTC.
Ibuprofen and aspirin. This isn't fun at all.
Yeah, but we're not gonna have headaches for days, Woody.
So they don't. I guess they don't give them access to stuff like NyQuil that they could just get fucked up on right away. Right? You probably couldn't buy NyQuil at the commissary.
No.
They probably could let you do that if you ever accidentally taken too much NyQuil when you have the flu or something.
Yeah, accidentally.
It's really not fun. You feel weird in a bad way. Like you feel like the ground's moving. It's not fun.
Everything's wonky.
Yep. Yeah. So,
but if you're locked up, wonky sounds good.
It only has to be more fun than prison. It's an upgrade.
All right,
Boy.
you're right. Yeah, it only has to be more fun than prison.